I know sometimes we'll mention ego can be a tool or a weapon, as all things can be. It's how we utilize anything that can make it a tool or a weapon, and that includes our ego. Because our ego is a way for us to know who we are, where we begin and end, as opposed to you, like me being me, you being you, right? So it's a wonderful asset. But when I have to push that my way, my sense of self is better than or less than, or that I am somehow like, you should be my way, and I'm going to force that so that you now conform, then I'm using my ego as a weapon. I have now weaponized my ego to force you to become like me. Versus saying, I have a healthy sense of ego, so I'm not going to allow you to force me to become like you. But I'm also not going to force you to become like me. We all have an opportunity to be our own unique self. So I'm going to use it as that tool to shine brightly as I am and have the amazing experience I came here to have and share as I came to share. But if you don't desire what I have to share, okay, that's fine. I'm good with that, and I'll move on. And so to me, when we talk about having the opportunity to use it as a tool outside of self, that's the opportunity to use ego as a tool outside of self. When you talk about having it as a tool, do you have a different take on it?
No, I feel like what I'm hearing you say, and I would feel the same, that in many ways ego is a barometer for self, and it can help us understand, well, if we experience ourselves in one way, is that actually how we want to experience ourselves? Part of experience is actually to experience so that we can know that. So if we choose not to learn from it, then it's neither a tool nor a weapon, but oftentimes weapons are when we're using something unconsciously. So it by default kind of becomes a weapon.
Yeah.
But the reality is when we are aware of it, we can recognize its purpose, have a conscious understanding of the experience that we're having, then it can be an incredible tool for the barometer of how we desire to live our lives and experience. We may have a mission, as we talked about, in our life, and what we desire to accomplish. What do we want to live and experience? And so an ego can help us find our path, if you will, to say, okay, well, hey, I just experienced myself in this way. Maybe that didn't align. Yeah. And so maybe I need to pull back a little bit. Oh, wait, that was a little too far. Now I don't feel like I have a voice, and so now I need to kind of speak up. So it's kind of like that little, I think you were saying like a bumpers, like a rail guard in a way, to keep us in our lane, to keep us on our path, so that we can have the experience that we came here to have.
Yeah, very much so. And I've heard in all of the different tours that I've taken through various groups, whether they're spiritual, educational, political, the ego is somehow tainted as bad. That it should be killed off, or we should seek to rise above our ego. And I understand that concept. I'm in no way discounting those views or those perspectives. I just happen to have a slightly different one, which is that our ego is very important to us. It would be like going into your toolbox and throwing away your hammer. Could you find other tools that could compensate? Of course. But man, your hammer makes life a lot easier to have one in your toolbox, right? And it's the same with our ego. Our ego is so vital for so many things that we do in our life. It is exactly what you said. It's kind of that barometer, or that that bumper rail, that if we understand how to leverage it and utilize it, it helps us understand our sense of mission in life. It helps us, even in many ways, understand the I part of the whole.
Right.
And we need both. We need to understand that we are a collective whole, but I serve a part in that collective whole. It's when we go too far into only the I and we forget that we're a part of the collective whole. It's when we get so caught in the purpose that we forget the mission. It's when we are so focused on reacting to everything around us that we forget how to take a step back and respond. So there are ways that we can balance and make certain that we have kind of the whole package. And that's where I would offer, if you just throw it all out, then you're missing the opportunity to find the harmony in the flow. And so by taking these steps and utilizing the tool that we've been given and it's not easy. I mean, as you were saying, we've all found ourselves there. I had a very ego approach in my life, always feeling like I was less than or not worthy of for the longest time, until, and I think I mentioned on one of these podcasts, I threw myself into a profession where being judged, evaluated, told no. I did it on purpose so that I could get over that and develop a much healthier sense of self and what I truly felt about myself. And we all have to find those things that cause us to step up and say, okay, I need to hone and refine this part of myself.